So in this video I'm going to show you how to get Blue Iris online other than the easy method, which was just to do it through Blue Iris itself through Universal Plug and Play. So if that did not work for you, then we'll have to actually go into the router itself and do the port forwarding. So first of all, we're going to do open up the command prompt again. To do that, go down to the bottom left here in the search bar, type in CMD. Bring up the command prompt, press enter. Now we're going to type in ipconfig, ipconfig, and hit enter. So this is going to show you your address that your computer is at, as well as your default gateway. You can see here my computer is at 192.168.1.13, and I've statically configured it at that. I would recommend that you do that as well. To do that, you can follow the video for getting Blue Iris online. The first video, I talk about how to do that in the beginning of that video. So you will want to make sure that that is static. And then the next thing that we're looking for here is the default gateway. And you can see that I am at 192.168.1.1. And that's your router's address. So we're going to use that address to log into the router itself. So we can X out of that. Now we're going to open up Internet Explorer. And we're going to go up to the address bar here, and we're going to type in http://192.168.1.1, and that's the address of our router. So this is going to bring up a username and password. Now generally, if it's left at factory settings, it's going to be admin for the username, and either admin again for the password or simply password for the password. Now you can try both of those. If that doesn't work, then I would recommend looking at the bottom of your router. Sometimes they have it written there. Other times your internet service provider might have given you a piece of paper with it. Just make sure that you are looking for that password for the router login. Don't get that confused with your Wi-Fi password. So you can see here that I've logged into my Netgear router. Now every router is going to be different. It gets a little bit frustrating. I wish there was a standard, but for the most part you're going to go ahead and go into advanced settings, and then we're going to go ahead and click on advanced setup here. So what we're looking for here is port forwarding. Sometimes that might be under NAT settings, but you might have to search a little bit to find it. There's also some really good resources out there for port forwarding. If you know the model of your router and type that in to Google as well as port forwarding, there's some pretty good resources to figure that out, how to get into the port forwarding. Well, we're going to go ahead and click on port forwarding here. Now that's going to bring up the port forwarding page here. And what we're going to want to find here to click on is add custom service. And again, this is different for every router as well, but for this router we're going to click add custom service. And so what we're going to do is create our own port forwarding for Blue Iris. So for service name, I'm just going to type Blue Iris. And then for the external port range, that's going to be that 8081. Now you might want to watch the previous video on getting Blue Iris online through Universal Plug and Play. If you haven't yet, that explains how to get that port entered into Blue Iris. So once we get that entered in there, we should be the same as our internal port. If it asks you to type in your internal port as well, just type in 8081, the same as your external port. And then now for the IP address, what we want to have there is the address that we statically configured our computer to. And for my computer, I configured it to 192.168.1.13. And so now we want to click apply. You can see there that it did add Blue Iris on port 8081 through internal address of 192.168.1.13. And that is why we do want to have that to be static, because we've just created this rule for that address If your computer was to change to a different address, then obviously you wouldn't have the port forwarding anymore. So now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and minimize here, and we'll open up Blue Iris. And we can go into the Options tab here, and then we can click on Web Server again, and that is going to show us our external or WAN access address. And I've got mine whited out here, but what you can do is highlight that entire address, including the 8081, and you can bring it up into Internet Explorer, that whole address, and see if something comes up. You can also just try entering it into your Blue Iris app and see if it works. So for the app, what you'll want to enter in is the LAN address here when it asks for LAN, the full WAN address here. It'll also ask for the username and password, and you can create that under the Users tab. I go into that further in our first video about getting it online. And then also you'll need the 10-digit code, and that's under the About page here. That'll give the first 5 and the last 5 of your Blue Iris key, and it'll ask for those in the app as well. And once you get all that entered into the app, you can click Connect to Server. It should obviously connect if you're in your house anyways, but what you can try is disconnecting from your Wi-Fi. If you have LTE through your phone, through Verizon or whatever, then you can try connecting remotely via that, and it should work if everything went right.